It looks like we have a lot of you here with us now, so we'll go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's ESA webinar. It's entitled Play Nice with DIY and Professionally Installed Security. Traditional security systems are a thing of the past. Home security and smart home control are becoming more intertwined than ever, but too often feels like it's an uneasy alliance to both homeowners and security pros. Today, we're going to hear from experts from Clare Controls and SnapAV to learn how they envision the profitable future for security dealers with a platform and ecosystem that could help grow your RMR and revolutionize the way you do business. In today's session, we're going to talk about the new robust connection between the smart security and smart home aspects of the connected home. We're also going to talk about growing RMR with more flexible solutions, why the back end is as important as the panel, how to keep the security aspects professionally installed, but at the same time play nice with DIY control to reduce truck rolls, and how to meet your customers' needs for a scalable system with an easy and clear upgrade path into advanced home automation. I'm very excited to jump in with our experts from Clare and Snap today. But before I do, I'd like to go over what you can expect from today's webinar for those joining us on your very first ESA webinar today. I'm Jillian Bateman, ESA's Chief Development Officer, and I'll be facilitating today's discussion. I'm going to turn it over to our experts in just a moment, but just want to walk through the panel with you. So if you take a look at the bottom of your interface, there's a Q&A button there for you. While all of you are muted for today's session, it doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. So please, if you have a question or comment on any of the content that is introduced today, please go ahead and click on that question and answer icon, and we'll ensure we save enough time with our experts to pose them. We will be recording today's webinar, so you can watch the on-demand video at your leisure, and you can share with your colleagues. Give us until tomorrow to get the video exported and hosted on the ESA site, but you'll all receive a link tomorrow in your email with a recording of it. It will also be in tomorrow's edition of ESA Integrator. We realize your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending some of that time with us today. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce some of our experts, which will be speaking with us today. We have Gene Marks. Gene is a leading security industry sales veteran and Vice President of Sales at Clare Controls, where he is building the sales pipeline for the company's new ClareOne wireless security and smart home panel and security sensor line. Mark brings with him a wealth of knowledge and decades of professional experience in the security industry. With a storied career that began in the Chicago Fire Department, Mark's field's experience with fire and burglary devices, professional security systems, and perimeter access. Prior to joining Clare, he served as the business development manager at Nortec Security and Control, owner of the 2GIG brand. We also have Clint Choate, Senior Director of Security Markets at SnapAV. Clint brings over 25 years of security industry experience to Snap, having worked in a central station, direct sales and management for large national security companies, founding alarm, commercial integration, and AV companies, and in executive leadership for a global sensor manufacturer for the security industry. Clint is the face of SnapAV security integrators and dealers, whose mission is to empower security integrators to win in the competitive technology market for homes and businesses. And finally, we have Bill Hensley. Bill Hensley is a market leader, innovator, and strategist with experience in consumer technology, IoT, and consumer products with global brands. He currently leads marketing for Clare Controls, focused on the launch of the new ClareOne smart security and smart home control platform. Prior to Clare, he directed marketing at Nortec Security and Control for brands including 2GIG, Linear, and Elan. Gentlemen, without further ado, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Jillian. Let's get going. And first, we're going to do just a little bit of background. So a little bit on the history of Clare and what brought us to where we are now. We come from both the smart home and smart security. Origins actually in the smart home automation space. The product line is sold exclusively through SnapAV, which is why we're on the call together here. We'll talk more about that relationship, what it brings to you, security dealers. And we'll talk specifically about the ClareOne, our new unified smart security and smart home ecosystem, elevating lifestyles for homeowners and making your business easier. Clint, would you like to give us just a little bit on SnapAV?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having us today. I appreciate ESA and working the relationship with you guys. SnapAV, we were founded back in 2005 for integrators by integrators. So like you, we understand really what it takes to get the job done. And really our goal is simple. It's to make your business more profitable and your life easier. And no matter what you do, we offer the technical know-how and proactive service you can't get anywhere else. And we're really ready to work with you. And that includes by being a manufacturer first, we sell manufacturer direct and we really protect our integrators' margins. So we're all about offering choice to be very convenient and trustworthy and provide that expert guidance. Part of that, we recently merged with Control4, which is the leading high-end automation brand. And that's really becomes the overall face and product of the company. And so together we offer this comprehensive solution. And so by being part of Clare Controls as our security and smart home offering to the security industry, together we provide this universal platform that is manufactured direct to the integrator service industry. So we're glad to be here and appreciate working with you guys.
Excellent. Thank you, Clint. So we're going to talk about the ClareOne panel platform and everything in and around it. So ClareOne is the unification of smart wireless security and advanced smart home control. So it's both a front end and a back end solution. And while it is the name of the panel, it's also the name of the full ecosystem. So you're going to hear us talking about ClareOne in a very broad sense, but then we'll get down into the panel itself at certain points. So we began this journey by looking and identifying a very large gap in the marketplace between traditional security, what we'll call the panel solutions, and the more advanced smart home automation, in this case represented by Control4. So if we look at the continuum on the screen here, you'll see on the far left, we've got the DIY solutions represented by Nest and Ring. To the right of that, we move into the large security panel-centric solutions represented by panels like 2GIG, Honeywell, Qualsys, generally operating with Alarm.com backend. Great solutions, but we think there's an opportunity in the market to really fill that gap with a more unified, fully unified front-end, back-end solution, app, panel, platform, all-in-one ecosystem. Clint, do you want to kind of describe kind of as SnapAV looks at what Clare is bringing to the market, that sort of third-party perspective?
Yes, exactly right. So really when we think about some of the pain points that security dealers tell us, when we look at the number of houses we hear from DIY, the value of what a rooftop means to our security dealers, there seems to be a compression of monitoring rates and the value those monitoring rates bring to a dealer. And so the more a dealer has to pay for services to provide monitoring rates, the limited integration they've got with additional services for home automation and for interactive services. For example, if they've only got one thermostat that will work on a platform or one device that will provide interactive service, that will provide that smart home services, it really constrains a dealer to what they can offer to a customer. So what we really think is that by coming with a smart home service offering first, connected with security that's open, much like a true smart home service to really deliver a smart home, that really opens up the portfolio and really opens up the opportunity for our security dealers that will function as a true smart home and not be very limited. So that space allows you to have a unified platform that's the same experience from an app, from the panel, from the back end that you have all the way through, gives you a very wide portfolio of devices. So whether it's something that we make, whether it's something that comes to the Clare brand, or it's something that's a DIY device that you can pick up at a local retailer or a homeowner may buy online, it's something that can be supported on a platform and really make your customers stick. So that's a really huge market and has been traditionally a large pain point. And so by allowing us to have that broad device support, it's a huge market that's been untouched. And that's something that we think is very important for us.
And we think it's not just filling that large gap, but actually disrupting some of that traditional business. And Gene, you've been in the industry for the longest of any of us, I think. Do you want to just elaborate a little bit on what this means for security dealer? Anything that maybe Clint didn't touch on?
Yeah, sure. In the past, most of the end users wanted security and were thinking about home automation. In today's market, most of the users are wanting home automation and thinking about security. So we've completely filled that gap, for the dealers. And they can now go from a basic system on up to a very large home, up to 128 zones here, before they get into the full audio visual part. And we could also integrate HEOS and Sonos into our system. So you can still get a little bit of the AV, but when you want to go into the full automation, then we go in unifying it into Control 4.
Great. Now, like I mentioned earlier, our roots are in the smart home control segment, and we have a robust catalog of drivers that are driving all of those various subsystems that make up the intelligent, the smart home, allows dealers to be more fully unified in that security and smart home solution. Customers aren't saying, well, I want a security system and I want a smart home system. They're wanting one thing, which is fully integrated. And we weren't anticipating having Brett Price, our founder, on the call with us, but Brett, since you're here, do you want to just spend a minute talking about kind of the Clare history and what got us to this point?
Sure, and thank you for hosting us today. Clare Controls really came out of the CI space, and we were always seeking to be an open platform and a platform that we could use to quickly integrate both products we were manufacturing as well as third-party products. And we have obviously many more drivers for third-party products than we do our own. And so you can see in this slide that we cover the gamut. We cover shades, lighting, security, door operators, gates, all kinds of things, voice controls, et cetera, et cetera. And what we've done in our partnership with SnapAV and Control 4 is we've really built a rich interface into the Control 4 platform. So as people want to get into the more robust automation systems and perhaps into broader entertainment systems, well, then we kind of take a sidestep and we let them, the user experience, really be driven by that Control 4 platform. So we've really managed to take a history in the CI space, look at the security space, and say, you know what, we can bring a lot of value to this space based on our history. So that's what we did.
Thanks, Brett. Now, a smart security, smart control platform is only as strong as the brands it's working with. Here's a quick snapshot of some of the brands, not only that we work with, but more importantly, that your customers are using now and asking for now. Okay, so what is ClareOne? It's not just a new security panel, but an ecosystem dedicated to dealer success. There's a fully unified front end, so you'll notice the panel and the app, they're looking quite alike. Makes smart security, smart home, and smart business control more intelligent than ever. And there's a unified back end as well. We're going to talk a lot about this later in this webinar, but it's enabling dealers to manage business more efficiently and to maximize your RMR. So it's a one app, one panel, one platform solution. It's that full ecosystem, and let's take a look at it. So in the center, ClareOne. Now we're talking about the panel. Easy to install, easy to operate, supported by a full range of encrypted sensors for peace of mind, and a couple hundred smart home drivers for that robust control. The one app, we call it ClareHome. It's the mobile app that brings that same ClareOne experience to the mobile device. Same look and feel. We'll dive into that a little bit deeper in a minute. So that's the front end. On the back end, the FusionPro management platform. Now this is there to increase your productivity and your profit. It's simplifying installations, maximizing your RMR. Pricing starts at free. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but it's low price, designed for your margins. And again, this whole ecosystem is designed to support dealers. We have a couple powerful partners in our SnapAV relationship, Control 4 and Oversee. So on the front end, ClareOne integrates with Control 4. This enables systems to scale with the customer's evolving lifestyle, like I like to say, from simple to spectacular. It's important to note here that ClareOne and Control 4 work together in a very strategic manner. So it's not just a bolt-on, but ClareOne is instantly discoverable on any Control 4 system. It operates entirely with the Control 4 UI for that truly seamless experience. And on the back end, FusionPro integrates natively with Oversee, enabling advanced remote troubleshooting. which is more important than ever when so much business is remote, particularly in this COVID-19 environment. And Clint, you want to elaborate on the connection between FusionPro and Oversee and what that means to security dealers?
Yeah, for sure. So Oversee, for those on the call who may not know, is a revolutionary support platform that for professionals that allows them to remotely manage, configure, and troubleshoot devices on the network. And it can be anything from basic home theaters to large-scale networking infrastructures. And Oversee really empowers our pros to keep everything running smoothly. FusionPro, as you mentioned, Bill, is the back-end system for Clare that allows you to deep dive into the ClareOne panel, manage all the customer accounts, provision them to central station service, set up scenes and automations that I know that you'll go through here shortly. So imagine if you're working inside of FusionPro to provision or set up and manage the accounts. With the native integration into Oversee, you're able to then through one click over to the platform and see the network topology and see everything that's connected to the customer's network, do a remote power cycle to the switches, to the routers, see the device status, do a speed test, and basically addressing network concerns. And then conversely, in the Oversee platform, you're able to see ClareOne inside of the network topology, do a reboot of the panel there, and then dive in to see network addresses, et cetera. So having the two together, it's really the first native Oversee-enabled security panel really in the industry. And Oversee today by our SnapAV current dealers is something that we find is very essential to their business operations. So tying the two together is very, very important. And then conversely, on the Control4 side, Control4 is also native into Oversee. And so when you when you connect all three platforms together, from the end user's perspective within Control4, it becomes the platform that they use, the operating system for their home. Clare works as a security panel. Today, it works as a very tightly integrated security driver. And then we even have deeper roadmap platforms that will allow you to bring some additional subsystems in place as well that our dealers from Control4 will see it towards the end of the year and path and process too, that will make even some more exciting news for as time goes on.
Great, thank you, Clint. So we're going to take a little time out here for a quick recap. Again, ClareOne, full ecosystem, smart choice for security dealers, custom integrators. It's a full platform to help you drive more business and grow your RMR, enables a differentiated security offering, lower operating costs. Clint, we're going to talk a little bit more about this DIY, so maybe now would be a great time just to jump in with what that really means to a security dealer.
Yes, so I mentioned, and for anybody that follows the Park study, one of the big pain points. There's so many different do-it-yourself IoT devices or do-it-yourself smart home devices that are on the market, and you can always imagine the experience that when you go and I've been even in the security and smart home sales, you go to a customer's home, half the time you have to spend your time unselling something that a customer's already spent several $100s buying. They've gone out and bought these devices that you now want to sell them an alarm panel or a smart home system that you tell the customer, I'm sorry, Mr. Customer, you bought these items. They don't work on the system. You've wasted your money. I now have to unsell that and now turn around and resell them a specific thermostat that will only work on this panel that I'm going to use in your home. Or I'm sorry, I can't connect that. You can only buy this one integration. What we found is that by opening up our platform, we're able to use the vast majority with hundreds of drivers that work on our platform. We're now able to encompass all of the existing do-it-yourself devices. That menu is increasing more and more over time. You'll see even more additional exposure to open that up. We've allowed our dealers to really make homeowners platforms very sticky. And so you're able to self-discover immediately those devices. And then think even further down, a customer has your system in place. They're paying that recurring revenue. That's what's important to our security integrators. Let's say someone at the holidays gets a free HEOS or free Sonos wireless system. Clare will automatically just self-discover that device and enable that music system inside of the Clare platform without you ever having to roll a truck. So my dealer no longer has to send a service technician out and sell them a new service and sell them the labor to install it. That's probably one of the least profitable activities, is a service call after the fact to add a smart home device that makes no additional recurring revenue. And more importantly, you've now penalized the customer for doing business with you, which just creates a very negative experience. So by supporting that DIY open platform device, that automatically self-discovers and automatically connects the device. You've made this platform very sticky to your customer. They're going to continue to pay that recurring revenue. And that's the most important thing. You've now made this platform the center plate of that customer's home. And that makes it, and they continue to use it day in and day out and keep that recurring revenue flowing. So we think that's very important.
Excellent. Thanks again, Clint. Okay, so, one app, one panel, one platform, one full ecosystem solution. Let's talk about that app. ClareHome controls everything in the home from anywhere. Again, the importance and the thing that we're really driving at is that consistency between the app on the phone and the app on the panel. We want to have just one thing for the customer to learn, one experience, one use so that they can get used to. The app itself can be customized and personalized for every member of the home or the business without impacting how others get into it. So it's immensely flexible. Like we mentioned before, we're working with all the brands your customers are already using. Future-ready design, automatic updates. We rolled out the new ClareHome app on Monday, and it just like clockwork, it immediately updated and instantly everybody's got the new look. Now we're going to stop here and watch just a little video, and this is the video that we shared with our ClareHome homeowners and business owners so they could see what's new in the new app. I'm sharing it here in the video just so you can get a sense of how it looks and feels and the ease of use. So let's take a look.
Welcome to your new ClareHome app. It's a brand new look and efficient layout with enhanced organization and an elevated level of security. We're here on the favorite screen, and in this video, we'll focus on the new navigation, which you'll find at the bottom of each screen. Tap on the Devices tab. This opens the Devices page, from which you can add devices to your Clare system. Let's take a look at lighting and see what we've attached so far. We can dive in and take a look around and even adjust levels. But you'll probably do this from your Favorites page. Again, this is where you will add your devices. It's also where you will manage your scenes. Here, you'll see we've already set up 4 scenes that can be controlled from the ClareHome app. Of course, we can check out the security system itself, in this case, the new ClareOne. Most likely, you'll be arming and disarming the system from your main screen, now called the Favorites screen. When we tap on the Activity tab, it opens up the Activity page, which shows the latest security events. New to ClareHome is the ability to sort these events by access or by security, and to assign a date range to the events you want to see. Tapping Actions opens up the Actions page, where you can add automations and scenes. Let's tap on Scenes, and you can see the 4 that we looked at earlier on the Devices screen. This page is where you will add, modify, or delete scenes. Tap on Automations to see what is currently active in the system, or to add new automations. The More page is where you select your location and manage users. That red light indicates that Clare has published an article to the info stream. We'll check that out, but first, let's select Manage Users and add a user to the system. I'm going to add my cousin Max and invite him into my Clare system. Only the primary user can do this. I'll paste his email, and ClareHome will send him an invitation to download the app. Let's get back to the info stream and tap on the most recent article. We'll be posting useful information here, so do check it out. We are confident you will love the new features and design in this new ClareHome app. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so that's a look at the app. One of the key things.
Welcome to your new ClareHome app.
I liked it so much I want to play it again. One of the key features there that we talked about was inviting users into the home. Only the primary user of that household can do that. An extra level of security. It's nobody going into your back end and having access to your system. Let's talk about the panel now, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Gene Marks. Gene, take it away.
Thank you. As we said with the Clare ecosystem, it's one panel, one app, one platform. You'll hear us continually saying that. You get an exceptional experience with the panel. We're unifying smart security along with advanced smart home control, and we personalize it to the user. It reduces installation time. It's a simple one-wire installation. It's a wizard-based setup, and we even auto-discover devices. If you notice on the previous screen, you saw a white bottom on the panel. And on this screen, you see a black bottom. We include both strips so you can customize the look for the end user. As we know with most electronics in the home, your TV, your stereo, everything's in black. And we tried to make the contemporary look here also. We also include 5 different radios within our panel. We have the cellular radio, the Wi-Fi, the Ethernet, the 433 megahertz for our sensors, and also Z-Wave Plus. And we also are UL listed for both residential and commercial. We're not mercantile for banks and jewelry stores, which we don't expect to use this for, but in all other installations we are. Moving on to the panel itself, when you look at the screen, it's a 7-inch touchscreen. If you look in the top middle, you'll see we have a camera. This is a 5-megapixel camera that will capture people that are arming, disarming, and making changes to the system. The panel also is about a 1/2 inch thick. It looks great on the wall. It's very slim, modern looking, and incredible. It's 128 zones and 99 users. We can support up to 232 Z-Wave devices, and I challenge anybody to put that many in a home or a business. I've seen over 100, believe it or not. We can configure our favorites dashboard, so however the end user wants to do it, and what they see on this screen is what they're going to see on their phone also. The panel also has an LED status light, which is blue when everything is closed and ready to go. It turns yellow if something is open, and it's red in alarm. We have 4 buttons at the bottom. On the bottom left, you'll see Smart Security, which you bring up to arm and disarm. The Smart Home is what you'll see on the screen in front of you. The middle button gives you all the activations. Anybody that's arm, disarm, it'll show the pictures. Then next to it, we have the setting buttons for user settings, the installer and all. And then we have our emergency buttons that'll bring up the emergency screen for panic and fire and burg and whatever else you want to use it on.
Gene, tell us a little about the ecosystem then.
Complete ecosystem. Our sensors, we have a vast variety of sensors here. We have mini door window sensors. We have regular door window sensors. We have door window sensors with shock sensors. We have pet immune motions, glass break. Our smoke detector is smoke and heat. We have carbon monoxide. We have a radarized heat detector, a Z-Wave indoor siren. We have various key fobs and panic buttons. We also have outdoor gate and water sensors. And something very unique about our sensors is the way we do things. We have what we call max out technology. Most of the competition today builds their antennas into the board, and it kind of limits the distance that these will report. With our max out technology, we put the antennas on top of the board, and we get approximately a 40 to 50% greater range than the competition today. We also have coming out very soon for everybody will be a 16-zone hardwired input module. So you'll be able to take over an existing hardwire zone and put 16 zones into this one module, but you can use as many modules up to 128 zones as you would like. We're also in the very near future will have a 2-wire smoke loop on there on the hardwired zones. And then we have a wireless to wireless translator that'll be coming out later this year, which will take over the 319 megahertz, the ITI GE, some of the Qualsys, the 345 megahertz for Honeywell, 2 gig, and then 433 on the DSC. So and there's also going to be a repeater back in here, so we'll repeat the signals for the ClareOne wireless sensors.
Excellent. Clint, as the distributor, the exclusive distributor, SnapAV, tell us a little bit more broadly about the Clare line, what's available to dealers right now.
Exactly right. So not only do we have the 433 megahertz encrypted sensors with the full line of the security protocol devices, but of course the full smart home features as well. So in addition to having video support that are Clare branded with the Clare video doorbell, the traditional security cameras that are fully supported inside of the ClareHome app in NVR, DVR. But we also have ClearView lighting supply, which is a Z-Wave based lighting device that are very affordable that can have full expansion capabilities for 3-way device switches, dimmers, smart switches, outdoor plugs, plug-in dimmers. We also have Wi-Fi thermostats that instead of going up to a cloud to give you services that actually works on the local area network. We have Z-Wave garage door support modules and Z-Wave repeaters. So out of the gate, we have a full lineup of smart home devices that work, that can give your customer the full experience in the store and live and ready to go, that are especially very popular in our builder communities as well.
Great, thank you. And, you know, smart home security is only as secure as the back end that you're working with and the protocols you're using. Clint, do you want to continue here?
Yeah, so I think it's very important to know that, you know, so as you mentioned, having cybersecurity is just as important. So not only, of course, you know, we found gone are the days of just having a traditional panel that's got relays and the communication devices. You know, things are much more of a, you know, essentially a supercomputer in your pocket. Our phones are today, and so you'll find that panels are very robust tablets essentially. And so anytime things are cloud connected, understanding the back end and how things are connected and how we manage and operate, that's very, very important. So top of mind has been the security of the platform and how it's integrated into Oversee and all of our platforms. And so some key things that we do start with our sensors. We use an AES-based encryption method, which is a 216-bit key custom protocol that we use. That includes jam detection at the panel. We use a security audit from the RIT, the Rochester Institute of Technology. They're considered some of the best in the country. User access to the system is by invitation only. And so I think you'll show a piece here in just a second when we do setup inside the back end, how we limit dealer and installation access to it. I think one thing that's very important that we do is that we really hide all of the user system passwords and ports inside of our panels. I think there was some pretty negative publicity that we saw where a large national integrator had technician access, where the technician was able to look into homeowners' cameras and some pretty negative publicity with that. Inside of the Clare platform, our dealers are able to manage and understand every single technician and every single person that's got access and keep those things hidden. In addition, the end users' codes are also hidden so that different employees inside of your companies can't see end users' access levels and those items are hidden. So we've been very thoughtful with that. And of course, we use the very best AWS cloud services and data services to keep that compliant. So very thoughtful in how we integrate all of those pieces to it.
Excellent. Okay, let's talk about the platform. FusionPro, mobile friendly back end. Why is that important? Because it's the same look and feel that your installer is going to have in the field that your admin is going to have back in the office. So it's learn one thing, have instant access, and we're going to take a look at that in detail now. Supports everything from account setup, configuration, installation, testing, through remote diagnostics and the troubleshooting that Clint talked about earlier with Oversee. Flexible lets you create highly differentiated service offerings, reducing your overall costs. Multiple tiers, we'll talk about the different tiers that are available. But first, Brett, since you're on the call, maybe you could just give us a little overview into what led us to develop FusionPro.
I'm furiously typing answers here. FusionPro was really came out of our history. I used to be an integrator and was for, I don't know, 15 years or so. And one of the most frustrating things you have as an integrator is trying to understand, you know, what the status of the job is, what the condition is, the technician left the job in. There's a myriad of tools that you get handed by manufacturers. So really FusionPro was a sort of a one-stop answer, a unification play that really is as much technical minded as it is business minded. So we wanted to have one platform that you could prepend an account or start an account up. The technician can go in the field. He's using the exact same platform to enable the system. And then further, our philosophy has always been any tool we give you, you can use locally next to the panel. You can use remotely anywhere you have internet access. So it's access anywhere, anytime. All features are exposed in FusionPro. And it's really about making a dealer efficient, effective, and more profitable. And again, back to Clint's point earlier, it's very symbiotic with the philosophy behind Oversee. It's about reducing truck rolls. It's about making more efficient and more profitable.
So one thing FusionPro does is it gives admins and technicians step-by-step project setup process. And this ensures that no critical step is missed. Like Brett said, 15 years as an integrator, plenty of times seeing that final step that maybe somebody is not doing in the field, which causes chaos in the back end later on. So it's ensuring that everything is done accurately. So it's from account creation at the main office to linking your preferred central station to out in the field, giving the technicians guidance for everything right through to customer handoff. So let's take a look now at FusionPro. And we're going to dive into an account here. And this is, if we look down here in the lower left, this is Hathaway Systems. Our business owner, Charlotte Hathaway, this is her welcome screen. This is her dashboard. So she can see, okay, I've got 123 accounts with Clare. 4 of them are offline. We're going to take a look at that in a little bit. But again, this is a quick overview. Lets her know maybe something to look at. Maybe this is some place to check every morning to see what's going on with the business. Under dealer news here, we are pushing out to the installers and to the customers information that helps them run their business. So I mentioned that yesterday we rolled out the new ClareHome app. We put that into the dealer news feed here. So FusionPro becomes that one thing that they're using to manage the entire business. On the left here, we've got 4 tabs: Home, Accounts, Companies, and Help Center. Help Center will take you straight into the Clare Controls Help Center, where there's an abundance of information to get you through any problem you might be having. We'll check first the Companies tab here. Look at just a couple things. In this case, we've got Hathaway Systems staff here, and we can see 4 different roles that we have assigned: installer, company admin, security, and billing admin. So Charlotte Hathaway is managing her business here. And if someone leaves, let's say, let's say Peter here at the bottom, Peter Zapton is out the door, she can immediately delete him from the system. That means he has absolutely zero access into any customer's account. So again, an added layer of safety at every step. Let's take a look at the Central Stations tab here. This is where you'll manage your central station relationships, adding, deleting, updating, and the like. Okay, let's go over into accounts now. This is where it gets really fun. So, like I said, we had 4 offline accounts that we noticed in the welcome screen there. I can look at them here right now and I can say, not to worry, I know these are test accounts here for Clare Controls. So no worry there. But let's dive into one and let's look actually at the Hensley house here. We're gonna view that account. And we bring up another welcome screen looking thing. This is the summary page for this account. And Brent, why don't you walk me through the key things here?
Sure. What we try to do in many places in FusionPro is really give you the, let me get rid of this. We really try to give you a quick glance at the health of the system. And so really what you've got here is a snapshot of the system where you can see both the health of the account. You know, if you look across that center row, the large numbers, you've got 12 devices online. There's 4 actions that the user is configured in the system. This is the service level that they're on with regard to the plan. And what you do is you start looking at these metrics, and as you start seeing device counts as you start to see actions being added to the system, the user's becoming more engaged and they're going to become more sticky. The next layer down is really the physical condition of the system. The cellular signal on that one is not so great. But anyway, you've got the cellular strength, you've got your Wi-Fi signal strength, and then you can click out and go to the Oversee platform to investigate any of the other elements in the home that may be affecting the performance of the panel.
Clint, do you want to talk a bit about that Oversee relationship again?
So again, inside of the Oversee platform, once you connect and again, dive in through the panel, if there's an issue and you want to click over into Oversee, that'll tell you the network health. And so when you click the Oversee button, as you see there inside of Oversee, you'll see that the account's online. If you need to reboot that panel, you can click the reboot and reset the device. But even there inside of Oversee, you can see everything else that's on the network and address the network topology or network issues. And then where you see the Launch FusionPro button there in your example, that takes you directly back into Fusion, and it takes you specifically to that project that's tied to it. You don't have to go to a master sign-on screen and navigate down and then find it. It'll actually, the credentials will take you directly to it. So it's a very seamless and quick experience to allow our integrators to manage, our partners to manage the platform.
So whether you're coming in through FusionPro or through Oversee, it's easy to get back and forth between the two. There's a seamless integration there.
That's exactly right.
Okay, we're going to skip over here now and let's take a look at service plans. And as we saw on that earlier snapshot screen, the household here is on the interactive plan. We do offer 4 different plans. We're going to look at those more in detail. Sorry, going the wrong direction here. And we're on the devices tab now. And what we can see is that one is offline, and we can identify it down here on the bottom line. That's the front porch light. And Brett, another question for you. What does this mean for a technician in the house?
The front porch light. Can't see it.
So just being able to identify what's on and offline.
Yeah, this is what's on and offline, and then any device that you have in the system. This is the page that you would go to configure the device. So this is online, offline status, and then you can go into the actual device configuration, and you can look at everything from the parameters that you may be configuring, whether it be the panel, the sensors, or lighting systems. You can also look at the health of the product. You can look at RF signal strength, Z-Wave signal strengths, and things of that nature, going into the actual product pages here.
Yeah, so we're kind of talking about testing now, so let's take a look at that test tab. And Brett, 15 years as an integrator has led you to developing this, so elaborate a little bit for us.
Yeah, so what I come from the days of wires, and they're going away quickly. And the problem we run into when we're sending technicians into the field with wireless is you get into a little bit of a gray area as to whether the home is actually going to be stable and sustainable without ongoing service calls. So what we did is we said, okay, I know that when a technician leaves a house, I want to know what the condition of that house is. So first of all, we give them an easy place to test it themselves and give them red light, green light indicators. So Wi-Fi, cellular connection to our cloud, Z-Wave testing, RF sensor testing, and they get a pass-fail on all of those particular on each particular device. Additionally, what we're going to do is to, when the technician signs this system over to the homeowner, this test will be run again and emailed to supervisor@yourcompany.com, and you'll get a permanent record of the condition of the home when that technician left the home. So at the end of the business day, you can sit down and look at these reports and say, well, I think we may have a service call pending or upcoming on this particular home given this sensor, or you may look at it immediately when that technician leaves. And then you can go back afterward and you can check this system in a live status after you've seen the report, come back to this page, rerun these tests and see if it continues to be a questionable item or if it's continuing to be healthy. So again, you can run these tests anywhere, anytime, just like everything else in this system.
Anywhere, meaning I could be on my tablet in the customer's house running the test, or somebody back in the main office could be doing the same thing.
Yeah, you could be driving down the road, pull over and pull out your mobile phone and go to this page and run these tests, see the results.
Perfect. So we've run the test now and we're going to the final step, which is onboarding. And again, making sure the integrator has done everything properly. We actually force them to check through and acknowledge that they have done all of these different actions here, including explaining the dealer, how to contact them for support. Then we send the customer invitation, and what the invitation is an invitation into the ClareHome app, that same app that we talked about before. And this is going to give them access not just to the app, but this kind of fires everything up for the house. So the homeowner now is online. Okay, now all of this is pretty cool stuff, but the most important thing is that it works seamlessly and then it works fast. And we're gonna take a look at another video here. Literally, I shot this on my desktop with the FusionPro open, my panel up and an app on my phone, and you'll see how fast things work together. So let's take a look.
Security dealers, how fast does your panel and app communicate with your back-end platform? Whether you're on the job site or on the phone, time is money. Let's take a look at the new ClareOne talking with the FusionPro management platform. In this example, we'll rename a Z-Wave dimmer and check it on the panel and the ClareHome app. We'll update the guest bedroom to the front bedroom in FusionPro. Press save and voila! Both the panel and app are instantly updated. Try that again. Let's set it back to guest bedroom. Press save and the panel and app are up to date. The new ClareOne and FusionPro back-end management platform, saving you time on every project.
So it was Gene who helped make this perfectly clear to me that, time is money when you're in the field. So everything we can do to speed that up. But again, we talk about one app, one panel, one platform, one fully integrated solution. ClareOne is it with FusionPro on the back end. Clint, I'm going to ask you to kind of walk us through now the platform fee structure and how this works.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of this is answering a live question that Jessica Webb just asked us as well. So first, the back-end platform, I think, is probably what's most important. And really, when we drill into the part where we get most excited about the real value of ClareOne and what the back-end brings to our dealers is really talking about the OpEx or the value of what a contract brings to our dealers. So we already know that our dealers, the value of their businesses comes from the recurring revenue that comes to our dealers. And there's a lot of hands that seem that be out, that have their hands out to our dealers' businesses. So you obviously are paying your central station. You have to pay your alarm transport provider. A lot of people get nickeled and dimed every time they add lights, locks, thermostats. You've got your billing portions, et cetera. And by the time you pay all those fees, whatever's left over typically is what's in our dealers' pockets. And then the value of that contract then is multiplied by a multiple times that value. And so we know that if we can increase that monthly net fee, that's obviously more value to your pocket or the value of that rooftop to our dealers. Just like Oversee, we also give we give that remote management cloud free to our dealers because we know stopping service calls and making our dealers' time and businesses more profitable is really the secret to success. That's what keeps our dealers bonded to us and makes our dealers more profitable. That's good for the industry and good for the business. We want to take that same approach with the back end and platform for Clare. And so we've learned that a smart home is what makes the industry work. That's what consumers want. That's what home builders want for the industry. And so we flipped the equation and said, let's start with a smart home. That's the part that makes things sticky. And so our basic platform fee structure is full control over all the smart home features, the lights, the locks, the thermostats, the music, all the notifications, the automations of the panel that gives you all the, all the parts that of the smart home. And we actually give that free of charge to the dealers. There's absolutely no cost whatsoever to turn on a ClareOne system, to turn on your lights, turn on your thermostats and control, turn on your schedules, no cost whatsoever. And that's the basic smart home platform. That's free of charge. The next step up that we have on our platform is what we call self-monitoring. The next pain point our dealers have said, I need to be able to compete with the do-it-yourself. There's these other platforms that are out there where homeowners are buying systems, they're installing, I'm losing business to my central station. My central station guys, people don't want to pay that higher fee. I'm losing money. Is there something you can do to help me cost that? So what we've done is created a self-monitoring program that I will charge our dealers $1 a month, and you can turn on the security features of the service. And the security features do not send it to professional monitoring, but what it does do is it allow you to create push notifications, email and text to the homeowner, where you can then send it to everyone in their neighborhood, create all the self-monitoring features, still provide the smart home and give you an interactive features to your services. The dealer pays $1 a month, then you can charge your homeowner $10 a month. And so that's a really nice cushion of profit that you're able to build that monthly service fee for and still keep recurring revenue. You still have a valuable rooftop contract, and it costs you nothing other than the $1 a month to create that service. So that's that next layer. That's $1 a month for that platform. We've got a lot of people really excited about that piece of the business. And then we come to something that you may know a little bit more traditional, and that's the alarm transport. That's the Interactive Plus. And so by using an IP network, we're able to enable central station professional monitoring. You're taking the alarm signal traffic over your ISP provider. You obviously can charge whatever you like, but that fee is $3 a month for that platform for our dealers. That's called Interactive Plus. And then the final path is what we call is our full version. That's the LTE path, and that's the interactive plus LTE. That's activating the cellular card that's already built into the panel. It's 4G LTE. It's a platform that's built in using the Verizon network. It's forward thinking. It is built into the card, but it's a platform that's supported through 2040. And so there is it's a path that's even, there's a lot of question that comes up on the 5G network. The 4G LTE card that's built in is something that's supported through 2040 and is carried forward into the 5G piece of the network. It includes two-way voice with the central station. Dealers determine the pricing, and that costs us $5 a month to our dealer. So something that we've been very thoughtful on is putting money back in our dealers' pockets, and the most that a dealer will ever pay, including two-way voice, professional monitoring, is $5 a month. And so we really want to focus on driving that profitability home to our dealers.
Great, thank you, Clint.
The central station integration, this does use contact ID, and I think that's important to know. So this integration to central stations will work with any central. There is no limitation. We don't have to install a special receiver. We don't have to do any work. All the panels communicate central station, communicating contact ID. So all we need is a receiver number and generate the account number, and you're off to the races.
Great, so let's recap. We've reached that magic moment. ClareOne, not just a panel, but an ecosystem dedicated to dealer success, enabling differentiated service offerings, both residential and small business. We think we're gonna own that market between the traditional security panel business and the advanced automation, but we know there's a lot of disruption we're gonna cause throughout the market because this is a robust, fully connected ecosystem. Platform helps drive business, reduce costs, grow your RMR, lead with free smart home, play nice with DIY. We see it as a preferred security choice, obviously for the Control4 dealers, but because it's instantly discoverable in that C4 system, provides a seamless experience, again, scaling from simple to spectacular. And of course, the troubleshooting support via Oversee for dealers of all makes and models, it's gonna make great sense there. Let's talk about a couple last things, then we'll open up for some questions. Two promotions going on right now. Clint will keep me honest here, but for new dealers that are new to SnapAV, you set up that SnapAV account, get approved as a Clare Controls dealer, and you will receive a free Clare 2-in-1 kit. So that's the panel, the motion detector, and 2 door window contacts, plus a free Clare video doorbell. Pretty sweet. So again, that's for new dealers. Snap has always been very assertive, if you will, in attracting new dealers. And this is the offer that we've got for everybody on this webinar now. If you're an existing Snap dealer, don't worry. We've got a 20% off all Clare Controls product, savings up to $1,000. Again, that can put some serious cash in your pocket. And again, we've got each of these, that 20% off expires August 31st, and I don't know if we have an expiration date on the new dealer kit, but I'll say it's gonna be about the same thing. Clint, did I miss anything there?
No, that's right, Bill. I appreciate you calling that out. And what we're able to do there is we use acquisition marketing bonuses to bring in new dealers, so we're able to use that acquisition marketing pool to work with Clare. So we appreciate you guys working on using on that platform. And for our existing dealers, we don't want to leave them behind as well. So using that discount runs for the same time.
Yeah, and for the Clare team, this is one of the things that is so important to us in the relationship with SnapAV, just the attention to the dealers that you're going to get with both Clare and Snap. We're here for your success. Shall we open up for questions? And I'm not sure who on the team has been monitoring what's coming in, but I'll go on mute here.
Bill, if I can add one more thing. One thing we didn't mention to the dealers is that in the very near future, our video doorbell will work directly into the panel, and you'll be able to see and answer the doorbell from the panel. And our cameras in the very near future too will also be able to work into the panel itself.
Good stuff. So I think there were a couple of questions that we've got. Most of them we tried to answer live as we went. We'll just go. I know we're getting short on time. I know that some of the questions have come from integration questions that have come up. Yes, all Z-Wave locks are actually built in place, so we can click that we answered that live. Jillian, do you want to help us?
Absolutely. So I have to hand it to Brett because he's been feverishly answering questions throughout this webinar. He's had over 30 questions asked, some of them very technical, but others I feel would be really great for the group to hear. So I do have a few of them for you guys. What central stations do you currently work with?
Yep. So one of the good answers is, we do use contact ID through the way that we communicate, and so there is no restrictions. We don't have to have a special receiver. That if if we have the receiver number, we don't have to install anything special. It's contact ID, and we can plug in the receiver bank and the account number, and we're off to the races.
Thanks, Clint. And how do dealers get more in-depth training for the system to be able to sell it to their customers?
Yep. But once you join Snap, we have a program called Snap University, and on that Snap University, we have a series of training on the ClareOne and the FusionPro platform that dealers will take and to get certified. In addition, we also offer live one-on-one training with our sales engineer from the Clare team that will set up an appointment and go in live as well.
Thank you. How does the platform interact with Control4?
How does the platform interact with Control4? Is that what the question?
Yeah.
We have a simple device discovery protocol that's embedded directly inside of ClareOne, and then also a certified driver. And so what will happen is that Clare can stand alone as its own smart home security platform, and we use that as an upsell opportunity, so that if you start with Clare and have a simple platform, for our Control4 dealers who want to upsell their homeowners into a Control4 platform, Clare will become subservient to Control4 and function as a security-only panel, and it has an IP driver that seamlessly adds all the devices and all the zones into Control4. From there, in the very near future, you'll also be able to have additional subsystems such as a Z-Wave hub, et cetera, that you'll see this driver, add driver, master driver, digital twin process that will come online, should be towards the end of the year, where you'll see some very, very rich additional features. In addition, for security dealers who don't sell Control4, you can partner with your local AV company in a partnership. So when they install Control4 in a home, you can be the security provider, and that panel works together and seamlessly in place. You don't have to create a very complicated process. They'll automatically sense each other and work inside that the native platform inside of Control4.
And to follow on that, the one thing that it will do that others are not is it's going to give you that one user experience. In this case, it'd be the Control4 user experience, rather than dropping off into another app if you're remote trying to access your security system. So it'll be a more seamless experience for that customer.
That's right.
And then lastly, there was mention of numerous communication pathways. Is it a single path selection, or is dual path an option? For example, if the Ethernet connection fails, will it jump to use the cell network instead?
Yeah, so we showed on the different platform plans, the different communication paths. We had the interactive plus LTE path, and so that's that $5 a month service platform fee that does provide the LTE path, and that LTE card is already inside of the panel. So yes, absolutely, it does use LTE.
It looks like we have a few more here from folks. I'm going to connect you with our experts from Clare and Snap that can follow up with you on a lot of these questions. We have a ton answered, but we have more coming through. I know we're about out of time. With that said, I just want to thank our experts from Clare and from Snap. I'm not sure if many of you are aware of this, but Clare and Snap are both strategic partners of the association, which means they're investing back in the pro installed channel for education, for training, for dealers. And so just kudos to you and thank you for that. And thank you to the panelists on our call today.
Yeah, thank you for hosting us. Julian, you'll be able to, I do see all the questions coming through. Will you be able to help provide us that contact information? I'll reach out to them. I'll make sure we answer all those questions directly.
Absolutely. I'll get that to you right when we get off.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, team. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Everybody, we appreciate it.
Have a great afternoon.